Hello everyone, this is Crystal Honeycutt. Thank you so much for joining me on your lunch break today for the midweek mindfulness moment. I just want to let everybody know that we do have a little bit of a lag time here, so just bear with me. Google Hangouts I think offers fantastic technology, but at the same time has its own little quirks and bumps. So we're going to just dive right in. I hope everybody's having a fantastic week. I know mine is super busy, and I've already been racking my brain to try to figure out how to stay balanced in this, which seems to be the perpetual problem. How do we stay balanced in the midst of our work schedule, our family lives, our own private time, the things that we want to do? How do we do this? And hopefully these are questions that we're going to continue to explore during our Wednesday sessions. And I really hope that you've been practicing that gratitude journal. I feel like something like that is just so important. We had a chance to talk about that last week, and if you want to go back and preview that broadcast, please go ahead, jump on my YouTube page under Crystal Honeycutt, and you'll be able to find a recording of last week's conversation. There's so much to talk about, and I have this kind of funny sense of what am I going to say? What's valuable to people? And then I think to myself, well, you know, I feel like pretty much I'm an ordinary person. Whatever I tend to encounter is probably worthwhile for other people to discuss and learn about too. So if you do have any specific questions or topics that you would like for me to touch base on here on Wednesday, just shoot me a little email, or you can private message me through Google+. My email address is herbs, H-E-R-B-S, the number 4, and the word hope, herbs4hope @gmail.com. All right, so today's topic involves a conversation that I had with one of my clients this week. And she came in concerned because her weight loss had plateaued. And so we went through the normal things, such as what are you eating? And are you doing any movement? And what else is going on in your life? Extra stress, external circumstances, sleep, all of those types of things. And pretty much everything was on target. And so I knew, because all the lifestyle stuff was being followed and done properly for her individual situation, that what we were looking at was not necessarily a physiological disruption or some external thing that she needed to tweak to continue to get her weight loss where she wanted. What we were looking at was more of the psycho-emotional elements that are connected to her particular weight loss pattern. And this is really important when we're looking at trying to problem solve our way through our life. And particularly with weight loss, that's something that all of us seem to have a little bit of our mind on, or a whole lot of our mind on. And there is so much more involved with losing weight, maintaining weight, getting to your goal weight, all of that stuff, than just diet, than just exercise, than just sleep. All of those play a role because how our stress level impedes upon our ability to maintain a proper weight is ginormous. Okay, so if you have questions or concerns about that, we can talk about that in a private session. But other things factor in just as much, if not maybe more so. And these are what I consider to be the mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of ourself. And in my practice, and I'm a naturopath, I look at the body as being multidimensional. We have our physical plane, we have our mental plane, we have our emotional plane, and we have our spiritual plane. And all of these aspects of ourself are congruent, hopefully. We're in process of making them congruent, and they affect our sense of reality every single day, no matter what we're doing. And when I'm examining a case, I take all of this into consideration. Someone's emotional state will absolutely play a crucial role in their health, their physical health goals. If you're stressed out, if you're sad, if you're angry, any number of things are going to directly affect your physical health. And it's very, very hard to deal with these larger external circumstances if you're not feeling very good in your own body. For example, if you're in physical pain, we cannot expect you to look at the psycho-emotional elements that are contributing to this physical pain until we get you physically out of pain. So, that being said, when you're problem solving your own issues, particularly this was a fantastic example of your weight plateauing, let's look deeper. What's going on here? And for this particular person, there is a huge connection for her between her physical weight and the feelings of being seen, heard, valued. And pretty much her entire life, she, in one circumstance or another, has felt like she's invisible. And we've done a lot of work together. She's done incredible. Incredible. This woman is on fire. And I love it. I love getting to walk this with her. But it was kind of delightful to get to look at her and say, you know, you're doing everything right. So what this means is if you are running into an obstacle, we need to look at the underlying or subconscious beliefs that could be stopping or impeding you getting to your next goal. And I said, so let's take a look at being seen, being heard. We know scientifically that many people are overweight when they are deliberately shielding themselves from judgment or unwanted attention. And I'd like to highlight this book, A Woman's, you're going to see it backwards, but A Woman's Book of Life. This is a fantastic book that kind of breaks down chronologically the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of these different phases in our life. And it was saying in here that many girls who are sexually abused in childhood and adolescence subsequently become obese, may be more complex than frequently cited hypothesis that excess weight is kind of an armor, an unconscious attempt to avoid further exploitation. This is huge because this factors in with so many people's physical goals, particularly regarding weight. And in her case, where she didn't have necessarily a sexual abuse trauma, she had a very large emotional insult that made her believe at her core that she wasn't heard, that she was invisible, and therefore what she had to offer, her thought processes, her insights, her wisdom, was invaluable. And she's been working bit by bit to get through this. And so now this is fantastic because now we're down to the core issue here, which is if she loses weight, she's going to be more visible. And is she ready for that? Does she really want that? What is this going to mean? Her internal protective mechanism is saying, whoa, slow down. I don't know if I'm ready for this. I don't know what this means. If all of a sudden I'm being taken seriously, that means I'm going to be a leader. That means my work is going to be inspirational. That means I can't hide anymore. That means I need to continue doing my inner work so that I can be my greatest self, because I'm not doing this by myself. Suddenly, as I'm being visible, I become a beacon of light to help others walk through their own journey. And when someone is feeling frightened to step into the next place, there is no way their body is going to lose weight unless they take drastic measures. This happens all the time. We take drastic measures through inappropriate dieting. We lose the weight. We feel good about ourselves practically because we punished ourselves. And within a year, maybe 2, maybe even 6 months, you gained it all back because your body, in connection with your psyche, is not ready for that. This is not all the compounding factors that play in with weight gain and weight loss, but I promise you this is a major core issue. And the ability to be seen, the ability to take it to the next level, the ability to bring your gifts into the world absolutely will be reflected in your physical health. And as soon as I helped her realize that this was the core issue, her intuition immediately knew I was right. She knew that her weight at this point had nothing to do with what she was eating or not eating, because she was doing a great job on a good, strong anti-inflammatory diet. Boy, she has done fantastic work cleaning up that part of her life and getting it balanced. So she knew the next space was to begin digging into that subconscious, those negative beliefs that are not serving her any longer, and trying to decide, am I ready to take this to the next level? Am I ready to lose more of my body armor? Am I ready to come out of survival mode and be fully present in my life? I think that this concept, in her particular case, is illuminating for all of us, because we all have these things. We all have aspects of ourselves that are working at the unconscious level that can be mirrored through our physical health and well-being, but they're still unconscious, that are really protecting us. We might call them saboteurs. They're sabotaging us, but ultimately they're protective mechanisms. They're in place because at some level we think we need to shield ourselves or protect ourselves. And certainly if we've had a very radical trauma like sexual abuse, then there's a very good reason for us to not want to be appealing, for us to hide our charisma, for us to, hold ourselves back. And please understand that, once again, I'm not saying you're obese because you have these issues. There's lots of things that happen here. But I am saying that especially if you are having significant trouble with willpower or meeting your goals, or your weight is plateaued, or you can't quite get where you want because your physical is not mirroring your internal, then there are other much deeper and equally important aspects at play here. And so what I would like to do is show you a little technique that I use all the time with myself and in my practice to help begin to remove some of the blockages, to downregulate the emotional response that we get at the unconscious level, especially as we begin knocking on our own glass ceilings. This technique is known as emotional freedom technique, or EFT tapping. And we're going to be using a sequence of acupressure points to begin to calm our own stress response and introduce new concepts into our subconscious. Okay, so I will be doing more work on exactly what EFT is later on. For today's purpose, what I want you to do is do your best to follow along with me. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take our dominant hand. I'm left-handed, so I'm going to be tapping with my left hand, and I've got my right hand here. I'm going to be tapping on my right hand. Okay. This is known as the karate chop point, and just gently tapping. Even though my weight has plateaued, I deeply love and respect myself. I'm going to say this 3 times. Even though my weight has plateaued, I deeply love and respect myself. Even though my weight has plateaued, I deeply love and respect myself. Now I'm going to take my dominant hand and I'm going to go through the sequence of points. Okay? Pay attention to how my energy shifts in this video, because I'm just like everybody else. I have my own weight insecurities too. All right, here we go. I know that there's something greater here than just my diet. I've been working really hard on that. I'm proud of myself. I've learned so much, but I know that there's something deeper here. I have figured out that in part of my weight issue has to do with shielding myself. Top of the head, I'm protecting myself. Top of the eye, I'm protecting myself. Side of the eye, I don't know if I want to be seen yet. Underneath the eye, what does that mean? Underneath the nose, I spent my whole life not feeling seen. Chin, not being heard. Collarbone, I've gotten used to that. Wrists, feels scary. When I take it to the next level, I don't even know what that's going to look like. Top of the eyebrow, who is that? Who will I be? What will I look like? Will my outsides begin to reflect my insides? Will my outside begin to reflect my inside? Will my outside begin to reflect my inside? Does that matter? Is what inside of me matters? Is it going to help? Is it aiding humanity? I think that's what I'm really scared about. I'm afraid that my life doesn't have a significant meaning, that I don't have something to offer. My gifts, they've been looked over before. Why should that matter? I know my weight is holding me back. People I love tell me I'm beautiful, but when I look in the mirror, I'm disappointed. I don't see the reflection that my core self sees. I don't see myself as my core authentic being. I'm afraid maybe she's not even there. Maybe I lost her. Maybe life beat me down too much. I know it's been hard for me to feel love, especially love for myself. Wow, that was big. Love for myself, my connection to weight, shielding myself. You can see my energy shifting as I'm doing this. I'm hitting on some things for myself. Perhaps I'm hitting on some things that are congruent for you. It's okay, we're just going to keep tapping. And the point is to let whatever is bubbling up, not to judge it, but to let it come forward. I am so frustrated. I want to be able to eat a hamburger and not think about it. I just want to enjoy it. I want to be able to enjoy my food. I want to be able to enjoy myself. I want to be able to show up and not care how people are perceiving me, but know without a shadow of a doubt that they are hearing me. They're valuing what I have to say. What I say is important, just as important as anybody else, and that I don't have to be afraid. I don't have to hold myself back anymore. I don't need other people's validation of my own self-worth, but that I can just show up, be in the present moment, engage in life in a fulfilling way. If that's my core truth, then my external will mirror it. And that however that morphs, I'm going to be beautiful. And I'm going to be healthy. because I already have my lifestyle stuff in place. I've learned how to eat well for myself. I've learned how to move beyond emotional eating. Now it's time to begin peeling off my armor. The battle is over. I'm going to use EFT to remove my armor. I'm going to open myself up to other strategies and other methods to help me move beyond this obstacle, because I know ultimately it's just within myself. I need to be nicer to myself. I have all the time I need. This may be a really big issue. This is probably really deep. And I know for my client it was really deep. This may take more than one round of tapping. I might have to, lock myself in the bathroom to get a moment's quiet and tap this out. I can do this silently if I need to. I'm feeling calmer. I'm feeling like I can be present. Most importantly, I feel empowered. Take a nice deep breath. Let whatever was getting kicked up just flow through with the breath work. Okay? If you followed along with me, maybe you were just listening, hopefully you are feeling calmer. You're feeling more at peace. This exercise is so simple. It's not necessarily hashing out all the things that are connected to this, certainly not for me or for my client, but at the same time, it's shifting that point of awareness, which brings us back to the work that we were doing last week, which is very much about appreciation, gratitude. I love my body. I love myself. Nobody's going to give me permission to speak, but I have to give myself permission to speak. I have to give myself permission to be loved appropriately, respectfully. I have to give myself permission to be honored. We have to do this for ourselves before we can ever expect anybody else to do so. Whether it's weight loss or codependent relationships or a proper job, being respected in your job, being valued in your family, all of these things, we have to provide these for ourselves first. I hope this was valuable to you. This is a big issue. We're going to come back to issues like this a lot because this is the work that I love doing. I love when people can begin to look at things in their lives that they feel like they can't control and see that these are all growth opportunities. These are all actual gifts to help us move forward, to know our authentic selves better, to search for happiness, to claim it, to demand it, to help us to be able to connect with others in ways that facilitate healing, their healing, our healing, so that love can abound. We know, all of us knows, love is the answer. And so much of providing love to the world begins with ourselves. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining me today. This recording is also going to go on to my YouTube video page, so you can go back and preview it as much as you want. Go through this tapping. You don't have to just use my words, substitute your own words in. This is just an example. I am really excited to hear more about how my client's feeling, how she's moving forward now, that she knows what the next piece of her puzzle is. It'll be great. I know she's going to get through it. And it has been my honor to work with her because she's illuminating some of my own things. And hopefully in my sharing my things and her story with you, you can begin to see that, yes, you have your own issues here. We all do. And that you're not alone. And that there are tools to help you to move through this, to have a beautiful, vibrant, fantastic life. I want to also remind you, how is that not complaining challenge going? I know I've had a really hard time with it this week in particular, but I'm going to keep trying. I don't have to be perfect. I just have to be mindful. Same with you. Have a wonderful day. You know how to reach me if you need me. I wish all of you magic, peace, happiness, and smiles. Thank you.